Hey, how's everybody doing? It is April 22nd, 2018, and I just bought this bike yesterday. It's the Kawasaki Z900 RS. Bought it from a dealership pretty far away. Made a trade from a 2000 Honda Shadow Sabre. So this is a big difference. I like the more standard riding position. Plus my 2000 was getting old. It was in great shape. I'm a recreational rider, just to put that out there. I make no claims of being some type of awesome, rider. So the reviews on this bike have all been good except for the negatives of like mostly the front fender and this throttle being binary. This bike being, some reviews have said this bike's almost unsafe. I test rode this bike at one dealer, and yes, you have to get used to that throttle, especially if you're coming from a cruiser or something like that, where you can do that and sit there and ride it out easily and wait for things to happen. This thing, as soon as you crack a little bit, this thing's taken off. This thing is tuned all low down, and it is ready to go. And I mean go. I bought this at a dealership that was 80 some odd miles away on a day that was about 48 degrees out. So it was cold. I had a long way to go. I was on the interstate, and I had the extra added convenience of it raining for about 20 miles of my 80-mile journey on the way home, which was really awesome. This bike, I was quickly questioning what the hell I had just done. But let me start by saying the bike rides nice on the highway, is comfortable, is smooth, the seat's comfortable, it handles great, it brakes, the suspension feels great. But again, that's from a guy coming from a cruiser. What do I know? I've never owned a sport bike, right? That's my other bike in the background. It's a 74 CB350, almost the same color too, color schemes. When I got home after my white knuckle experience, I did some reading last night. And if you've got the manual, or even just if you're going to test ride one of these, I just want to give you a pointer on two things to look for. Go to page 116 in the following page. Go to 116, go to 117, go to 118. Read about the slack in the throttle, because that's huge. This bike had no slack. You're supposed to have about 2 to 3 millimeters of free play in the throttle. I had 0. Okay, so that gave it a real binary feel, first off. Second thing, look at your RPMs. If you get on this bike and start it and go for a test ride, if it's cold, it's going to jump up just like a car does. They jump up to 2,000 or whatever, 22. They come down. The bike should come down and start idling just over 1,000, between 1,050 and 1,150 RPMs per the manual, not per me, but per the manual. This bike was idling at about 1,600. It was definitely over 15. Okay, those two settings alone, you adjust that right over here. You got to kind of get up in there. I'm not going to be able to show it, but it's on the left side of the bike. Those two settings can make this bike extremely dangerous. I have read one review where the person got off the bike and thought that this was kind of like a death machine. And I would agree, if you have those two things different and you're coming to this bike new, I'm not sure. I rode 80 miles and 20 of that was in stop and go. I'm not sure I tried like hell to get my wrist to adjust, and it wasn't happening. I just went for a gentleman's ride around my neighborhood in this, but completely different. Calm the bike down. Now, is it still going to have some of those effects that we talked about? Yep. Am I going to have to get used to that throttle compared to my Shadow Sabre? You betcha. But is it controllable and manageable? Oh, definitely. So if you go and test ride one of these, please note those 2 points, because you can get yourself, especially if you're a younger rider, newer to the game, haven't been riding long, those two settings will make this bike, probably any bike too that's geared this way, an extra handful for you. Hey, with that, stay safe, take care, God bless.